What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Triple H podcast, Happy Hour Hoops, presented by Trainwreck Sports. Steve, Jake, and myself talking all things NBA because, guys, the NBA is back tomorrow. Basketball until June, until our eyes bleed. Russell Westbrook gets a deal done right before the season starts, so we can be
Hell
happy about
yeah.
that. Brody has a team. I mean, I know you guys are feeling good, but let me hear it, guys. How we feeling about the NBA being back tomorrow?
I'm ready, Dunny. I'm looking right now at the slate. My eyes can't turn away from it. We get NBC basketball back. NBC basketball tomorrow night. Warriors, Lakers, Rockets, Thunder. I can't wait. You know I'll be locked in. We're almost here. We're almost here. Time to get some hot takes going. A little couple hot takes, maybe some season
Oh boy.
predictions, and I can't wait to trigger both of you this episode. So I'm ready to go.
Oh,
I'm in rare season form right now.
I will say you have been seeming a little spicy to start today, Steve. So I'm a little scared of what that brings. I'm excited. It snuck up on me. I can't believe it's October 20th today. Like it's just time is flying by in this fall and this sports season. The equinox coming up this weekend. It's crazy, but yeah, tomorrow it's going to be a celebration, and we got two great games on tap. We got great games all week. My Cavs opening up at MSG on Wednesday night. Can't ask for more than that, honestly. Like we're gonna get right into it there. It's exciting. We're back. We're fully back, and this is gonna shaping up to be, as we've talked about the last couple weeks, and we're gonna talk about tonight. Really gonna be an interesting season. There's so many different storylines, subplots all over the place to explore, and so many fun like a lot of rising young players looking to finally make their impact. Or is it just going to be boring and the Thunder are just going to win 70 games and win the title again? Who knows, but that'll be fun too if it happens.
Breaking news just before we started: Jalen Williams not expected to appear in the Oklahoma City Thunder's season opener.
So, which Jalen we talking about, Donnie? Which one?
J-Dub, the good Jalen Williams.
Oh, whoa.
I thought we were doing rare season form.
Jalen, the one with the E-N, not the one from Arkansas, the one from Santa Clara. But no, you just got to be like the good one. Damn, tough.
Crazy.
Tough luck right there.
What can you do?
Hey, man.
What can you do?
It's basketball season again, all right? If these guys can't handle the heat, get out of the Happy Hour Hoops kitchen, all right?
Yo, Dunny, real quick, Dunny, because I'm sure you're going to bring this up at some point, so I just want to rip the Band-Aid off. We got to talk about the Rockets starting lineup. We got to talk about the Rockets. Yes. I said to you when I saw it. We got a big man starting lineup going. KD playing the 2 makes me think back to all my leagues when KD got that shooting guard card on NBA 2K, and you're like, oh, KD at the 2 is unfair, but they're actually doing it. It's a bunch of 6'11s and Amen Thompson and KD. That's pretty promising.
Yeah. So for the people who didn't see, the projected, and this came from a Rockets beat reporter, and she tweeted the projected starting lineup for the Houston Rockets, and it is as follows: Amen Thompson, Kevin Durant at the 2, like Steve mentioned, Jabari Smith Jr. at the 3, Albert Sengun at the 4, and Steven Adams, the old vet, the wily vet Steven Adams at the 5. So, you know, the tweet comes out and it says the Rockets are starting Kevin Durant at shooting guard on opening night per at Sports Vanessa, who's the beat reporter I alluded to. And yes, of course, KD, 7 foot tall Kevin Durant at the 2 guard is crazy, but also Amen Thompson just getting the keys and running point is also pretty wild.
We kind of saw like them trust him a little bit as the year went on last year. Of like maybe he can be. He was kind of the classic like third quarter, like you got to have someone run point for a little bit. That was kind of his role, and he did a really good job with it when they wanted to play a little bigger, if they wanted to change something up. But to see that as the opening like day starting lineup right now, that's a big move for Amen Thompson. Yeah.
Yeah, and obviously, we also talked about Brody kind of getting signed up by a team, but last episode we were talking, maybe Rockets was the rumor, and they lose Van Vliet for the season before the season even starts. And we have our answer now. They have a lot of trust in Amen Thompson, not just to take that leap as a two-way guy, but to take that leap as a playmaker and someone they trust with the rock. So
I do have an issue with Ime Udoka. Now we have beef, me and Ime, because he had a quote yesterday.
Super cocky the other day.
Yeah, he had a tweet. He had a quote the other day and said, Ime Udoka on double big lineups and teams starting to copy them. Everybody's trying to be like us. They really can't do it like us, but I take a little pride in that. My Cleveland Cavaliers have ran a 2 big lineup for the last 3 years and won 65 games last year. But yeah, you know what, Ime, you're right. You started this trend in the league. Your Rockets do it better than everybody else. Go ahead. Whatever. Yeah. Talk your shit, bro. Whatever you say. I'm hyped for a Cavs Rockets matchup. Let's see how your 2 big match. Let's see Steven Adams chase around Evan Mobley. So Ime's feeling himself. Ime's feeling good about this giant starting lineup. But I have beef with him. Just marking it down for the record. Used to be.
Yeah, I mean, that is crazy to say. I wasn't even thinking of that. I did see the quote. I actually saw the video of him saying it. It was a little strange, I thought, because I didn't you think 2 big lineup. I don't think everyone's head necessarily goes to the Rockets. But he might be just duping everyone. He's kind of going 4 big lineup. So
yeah,
now it's 4 big lineup in Thompson. So maybe he can claim that at least. But yeah, Ime getting a little cocky before the season even starts. I would give the nod to the Cavs on that one for sure, Jake. I think that's a fair gripe.
Thank you.
They've been doing it. They excel at it, and it's like 2 legit bigs, and it seemed to work for them. But
Also, too, real quick, though, for the Rockets side, this could be the classic Steven Adams starts, plays the first 4 minutes, and then they kind of just move everyone down a little bit. You know what I mean? And then bring in the guard, and then the rotation comes in. So I'm not going to jump the gun on it yet, because I've seen, believe it or not, the Thunder used to do this with Steven Adams back in the day, right? Where he'd play a few minutes, take him out for a little bit, and then get the rotations going. The Cavs commit to it.
Well, and that is who the Rockets are playing tomorrow night. So I wonder if he's like, hey, KD, Steven, these is your old squad.
Right.
Let you guys get fired up first. Who knows? Ime could be playing mind games from the jump here. But the reason I'm sure most people tuned in, where we kind of left you guys last time, we gave you our 50 to 26. Today it is the top 25 and the Happy Hour Hoops top 100. The highly anticipated top 25. We got it here for you, folks. So, Jake, you starting us off?
I'll start us off.
All right.
One of my favorite players in all the sports, James Harden. Of course it is. James Harden was honestly amazing last year. I thought he was done. I thought the move to the Clippers, it was like, man, this guy's cooked. This is the end of his career. And he was his usual efficient, great scorer, great facilitator. Really, I mean, Kawhi in and out during the season. Harden really carried them a lot of this during the season and kept them afloat and kept them as a competitor. Now they had a lot of other help on that roster too, but it can't be understated. I thought James Harden at this age was just going to start falling off immensely, and he really kind of elevated a level again last year, where he had a couple down years before that and found his groove again. Maybe being back in LA, back home, helped him out, but he deserves this spot right here, rounding out this top 25. Still an excellent scorer, still an excellent facilitator, still honestly all the same things he's always been great at. He still is great at his age. It's very impressive to see. So he starts off our top 25 here. Dunny, 24.
Yeah, well, just because I guess we're telling lies here, Jake. Also, one of my favorite players, Joel Embiid at number 24. I mean, look, Joel is a walking question mark at this point in his career. Obviously, former MVP of the league. He's got to be, somewhere at least close to this top quarter of players in the top 100. You never know what you're getting from Embiid at this stage of his career. You could tell me tomorrow that he'll only play 20 games on the season, and I'd believe you. So kind of where we came in with this, he just really couldn't be much higher than this spot, but also, we can understand the talent. So Embiid's here at 24.
At 23, I'm going to have to break the theme. This guy I actually do like quite a bit. It's Mr. Kyrie Irving, one of the most skilled guards we've ever seen. This is kind of a big opportunity for him. We'll see when he comes back, when he's fully healthy. But you can't ever question the talent. He's averaged nearly 25 points a game, I think, the last like 6-7 seasons at this point. Kyrie Irving is just an absolute bucket getter, and he's someone who the biggest question mark around Kyrie Irving was almost not necessarily his character, but his it was he a locker room distraction? Is he someone who's going to be committed to a team, committed to basketball? And everything we've seen in Dallas kind of shows that Brooklyn was kind of the outlier. Obviously, you had Boston there too, and that was kind of the reason why Dallas was able to get him how they were. And there's been no distractions from basketball with Kyrie. It's been strictly basketball right now. And now he has a golden opportunity with Luka no longer there and a really, really, really good Dallas Mavericks supporting cast to kind of be the guy leading the charge. Even if AD puts up bigger numbers, he's going to be the guy leading the team. And still at his age, man, Kyrie is still one of the most skilled guards. He could take over any game when he wants to, and he's just an absolute bucket. And still to this day, and I may argue when it's all said and done, he might be the best driving guard we've ever seen because he still just makes the most ridiculous layups, shots, whatever you want to do, just makes it look easy night after night. Kyrie deserves to be in the top 25.
Absolutely. Another guy who would have known with everything that happened last year, what would happen with him, and he just elevated again and just he's gonna be outstanding when he comes back. Trae Young at 22. Trae Young, I feel like there's been the public opinion on Trae Young has just gone all over the place since his career began, but there's some things you just can't deny about Trae Young, and one of the things is that he is one of the most dynamic and effective offensive players in the NBA. Passing is special, an elite level passer, elite playmaker, great finisher around the rim for such small size, really the engine of that Hawks team. And you saw what they were able to do, especially when Jalen Johnson was healthy last year, and they had a roster that was built really nicely around Trae to hide his defensive deficiencies, how much he excelled, how efficient he was, how much he can carry a team scoring load when they need him to. I think that there is a world where Trae kind of gets derailed by the noise and kind of gets derailed in his career in that way and takes a wrong turn. But that man has been steadfast. He's headstrong. He is a really impressive guy to listen to talk and just hear how he thinks about the game. So we were talking about it while we were trying to figure out these rankings. Like, it's hard to even see him outside the top 20 right now. And maybe the Hawks are kind of a dark horse sleeper candidate in the East to make a jump here. Maybe he gets right back into that conversation, top 20, top 15, all NBA level this year because of that.
I mean, how many guards can give you 25 and 10 on a nightly basis in the NBA? Not many.
Not a lot.
Especially with efficient shooting splits that Trae Young's had his entire career. Not many.
And now he has one of the best pick and roll partners in the entire NBA, and Kristaps Porzingis. And
Risa Shea there too, Jalen Johnson, like Dyson Daniels. I mean, it's the best opportunity Trae Young's had his entire career, right? We can say that, right? This is the best team around him he's ever had. I don't think it's close. No. Or best supporting cast.
Yeah, I think all the above. This is the best he's ever been surrounded with for sure. I'm a little mad at Trae for his fake decision after the whole LeBron thing, and he was releasing a hard tee. That kind of grinded my gears a little, but all the basketball wise, he deserves to be on this list for sure. Next up is me, and we got Spicy P, Pascal Siakam, coming in at number 21. I mean, look, what an opportunity for Pascal this year, right? Yeah. Like, the Indiana Pacers are going to be led by him, Nembhard, Mathurin. Like, it's going to be Pascal and these pesky guards that he plays with. And I mean, look, NBA champion, right? Huge huge reason that the Indiana Pacers were able to reach the NBA Finals last year. You know, he's a good defender. He's great in the post. He can kind of score at all three levels. He's been an improved jump shooter every year in his career. You know, I think this is a guy who probably in his career will never be too much higher on this list, but at the end of the season, like who is to say he's not, 5 or 6 spots higher just with the absence of Halliburton. So Pascal Siakam absolutely deserves to be in this spot.
Spicy P, man. He just steps up when you need him to. All right, number 20, Mr. Paolo Banchero. Paolo Banchero probably has one of the best chances of anyone probably outside of the top 15 to jump into the top 15. I mean, this guy was a stud from when he was first drafted by the Orlando Magic. He was one where I think, Dunny, I'll give you credit for this. When you said don't overthink it, he's going to be the rookie of the year that year. He's just going to be the guy, and he was the guy from day one. Now, the Orlando Magic have a healthy team this year and a team that's looking to compete in the East with Desmond Bane, Franz Wagner, Jalen Suggs, and everything is going to be behind Paolo Banchero. Can he take that step? We've seen NBA players kind of similar to Banchero right around this year, right? With year 3, year 4 in the league, where they really start to step up and they really become a superstar. And unfortunately for him, he's had a couple of years derailed by injuries in the season. But Paolo Banchero, man, the biggest, I think, fault in this game is just the outside shooting consistency. But that's something we see NBA players fix. It feels like overnight. You can't teach his size. You can't teach his athleticism. And he's a pretty good playmaker for his size. He can do pretty much everything you need. Banchero, I like him here next to Pascal Siakam because I think they have very similar styles. But Banchero gets the edge here because he's got untapped potential, and at his age and his raw talent, sky's the limit for this kid.
Yeah, Paolo. I would not be surprised if Paolo climbs this ranking by the time we do it next time around, and be near the top 10. I mean, he came in so polished. Like, that's the thing too. Like, he automatically walked into the league and was just ready to be an elite scorer. So it's exciting to see. And Orlando not talked about enough this year. I'm scared of Orlando in the East, honestly, with the team they put together, and he's going to be the engine behind that. Number 19. Why did I get both Clippers? What happened here? How did we set this up? Why do I got to talk about the Clippers so much? Kawhi Leonard loves trees, loves planting trees, loves apples, loves boards. Is when he plays. Is a top 7 talent in the league, honestly. Like, it is one of the best players, one of the most efficient, ruthless scorers in the league, one of the best defensive shutdown wings in the league. It's just the reason he is so low on this is because we don't know when he's going to play. We don't know his availability. They clearly have him on a pitch count throughout the year, and the best ability is availability. So we'll see what happens with Kawhi going into this year and how they kind of manage him this year. But you can't expect more than 50 games at best. Even last year, it seemed like they were like, we're just going to give you the last 35. Like, you're a college basketball player this year. And he was awesome. When he was out on the floor and when he looks healthy and when he's rested, he's amazing. It's really just the uncertainty of when he's going to play, how much he's going to play. But they're lethal when he's on the floor, and he's lethal when he's on the floor.
Yeah. I just still can't even believe we have this Kawhi situation going into the NBA season.
It's insane. Every year there's some giant question mark surrounding him, right? And then he'll give us these 2 weeks of oh my God, he's a top 5 basketball player in the world again. And then we just done.
Well, just remember the way the conversation went last year, just in the middle of the playoffs. We're like, well, maybe it's kind of like when a guy misses so much time from injury, he actually has fresh legs at the end of his career. And it's like we were having those conversations about Kawhi, and then, of course, this happened. So we'll see. But next on the list, Mr. Devin Booker. Shout out Ryan Russillo, one of his favorite players here. Devin Booker. I mean, look, man, Book absolutely deserves to be on the top 25 list. I don't think there's maybe his rookie year, but that's rookie year Devin Booker's when he dropped 70. So like I don't know if there's been a year of his career that he didn't deserve to be in the top 25 in the league. He's just the ultimate scoring guard. A lot more will fall on his shoulders this year, yes, but that should mean his numbers improve. I gotta say, man, if this season goes sideways for Phoenix, I really hope we can get out of there and we get some of D Book's prime just playing some meaningful basketball again, because that finals run that him and Chris Paul had with the Suns was some really fun basketball to watch. But we've just seen Devin Booker kind of trapped in this sad Phoenix situation the last couple of years. But Book at 18, like I said, one of the best scorers in the game, one of the prettier looking jump shots that the NBA has to offer right now. D Book at 18 for us.
Yeah. 17 here. We're going with Jalen Williams, and that is Jalen Williams, Jalen Williams from Santa Clara, not the one from Arkansas. They're both good professional basketball players, so just want to put that out there. But Jalen Williams, who, kind of gets overshadowed by Shea on the Oklahoma City Thunder, because when you look at Jalen Williams, and I said this before we went live to Dunny, Jake, this is a guy who is very good at pretty every aspect of basketball. He checks every single box. He's above average, or I would say kind of all-star quality at everything you need. If you need a playmaker, if you need a scorer, if you need a defender, right? If you need a guy who can drive, if you need someone who can switch on to anyone on the defensive side, if you need someone who can take the ball up the court and run the offense, Jalen Williams can do it all. And I think that people are finally starting to wake up to that. I think the Oklahoma City Thunder's playoff run really helped everyone kind of be like, wow, like it's not just Shea and Shat. Like they have another guy here who's very, very good. And Jalen Williams in his own right, is on the verge of being considered a superstar. It could also be the one on a lot of teams where he could be the go-to guy, because we've seen when Shea has just been out for a little bit or Jalen has to step up in certain games, he can, and he will do that consistently. And that's kind of the word I think I like to use with Jalen Williams, just Mr. Consistent. Just every night he just shows up. He gives you everything he's got. He's an emotional player, and he's a guy who's just, like I said, he checks every single box. Jalen Williams more than deserves to be in the top 20. And to be honest with you guys, if it wasn't for Shea, I think he would be a little higher up on this list, because he probably have more of those like gaudy box score numbers where he doesn't need that on the Thunder. When you're up 35 after three quarters, you don't need to play the fourth. But Jalen Williams, got to give him respect.
Absolutely. At 16, Jaylen Brown. Sorry, Dunny, I gotta take this one on for you, but I'd love for you to chime in here. Jaylen Brown is, man, just one of the most ferocious scorers in the NBA. Like if there's Jaylen Brown thinks he's number one on this list, that's for sure. And that's why he is who he is. Like he's one of the most confident scorers. He is a freight train when he's coming down on you in the driving the lane and doing what he does. He's a really impactful defender for this team. He can get his shot going from the outside from time to time. It's just Jalen is just a force of nature more than anything. Like I feel like he is just decided in his life that he's going to be one of the best basketball players in the league, and he makes himself that every year. He improves something on his game. He's gotten better every single year. Obviously the biggest deficiency is the handle, which has been talked about at length, but he's gotten even a little better at that over the years. It's hard to pick a complaint about Jaylen Brown. Maybe not the most efficient scorer at times, but man, like when he's at his peak, at his best, he is one of the most effective scorers in the NBA, and just the size, the strength, the length that you want from a prototypical NBA star.
Yeah, big year for JB coming. I love everything you just said, Jake, but big year for JB coming.
I got a couple Jaylen Brown takes that I think I might save for a little later in the show. So that's it. It's a little later. Just a little, Tony. We'll just move on. We'll move on. That's a little later.
Jake, you know, if you guys just didn't have to fiddle with the rankings, we both could have talked about our guys, but um, Evan Mobley coming in at number 15 on our top 25 happy hour hoops. Well, our top 100, but in the top 25, we have Evan Mobley at number 15, which, you know, I joke, Jake, but I only had him as low as 16 when I was making my version of this list. So it's just crazy that we're here with Evan Mobley. Like, I think the three of us and, you know, a lot of the Cleveland faithful probably had this penciled in, but I don't know if many other casual NBA viewers did because, you know, Mobley was a super raw talent coming out of college. Obviously had the athleticism, kind of had the knack for defense, but here we are. You know, the Cavs just won so many games last year. Mobley, a huge piece of that. They really kind of all just weren't selfish, and that's a big reason why this Cavs team works. Like starting with Don and then just kind of trickling down with all these guys. And Mobley's he's you know learned how to play the double big like we talked about at the beginning of the episode. He's you know just improves. It seems like every trip up the floor at defense. So no question why Mobley made the top 15 here. He's probably poised for another leap this year, which is insane.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably got the best chance to jump offensively of everyone in this list, right? And that's where you make the biggest leap in the eyes of everyone is if that offensive game takes that next step.
It depends how much they use it. Like they could decide we're running everything through Mobley the whole year and just see how that goes. Because that's not what they did last year when he took that leap even. It still ran through Mitchell, still ran through Garland a lot. Yeah, Mobley defensively can take over a game. Teams try to avoid him in the paint. And honestly, he can come out and guard. He can guard other guards on switches. He takes on the toughest defensive assignments. Obviously, defensive player of the year. Yeah, the sky's the limit for Evan Mobley. It's just putting together that offensive game and being more reliable because he does still have some stinker games. Like even the other day in the preseason, but he was like 3 for 14 the other night in the preseason. It's like those games happen a little too often for him to break the top 10, so he's going to sit here at 15.
At 14, how about the guy in the same draft class as him, Mr. Cade Cunningham, first overall pick. The biggest praise I can give Cade Cunningham is if you look at the supporting cast that he had on that Detroit Pistons team last year, they shouldn't even sniff the playoffs. And he turned them into a fun team, I think, as the season went on. And he was just an absolute box score juggernaut. I mean, this guy was flirting with triple doubles. It felt like every single night you would look up and Cade Cunningham would have like 4 points in the first half. You're like, oh, quiet night. And then you'd see he finished with 29, 10, and 6. You're like, where did that come from? Cade Cunningham, incredible playmaker, incredible scorer. But the one thing I love about Cade Cunningham, when he was at Oklahoma State, he got comparisons to Luka Doncic because he slows down the game and plays at his own pace. And he's one of those big guys who can run point, right? Cade Cunningham, size 6'6", 6'7", and he could just slow down the game and run at his own pace. He makes everyone around him better. Cade Cunningham, now that I think the Pistons team may be a little bit better than they were last year in terms of the players around him, and it's just another guy where – man, the NBA's got a lot of good young players, and Cade Cunningham is one of them because this is a guy who, if he really wanted to, could be in talks of winning the scoring title. If he really wanted to, he could average almost 12 assists a game. It's just pick your poison with him. What does he want to do that night? How does he want to attack the defense? And with Cade Cunningham, he's just so mature in terms of basketball sense for where he is in his career. Absolutely love this guy. Top 15 and potentially a top 10 guy going forward.
Yeah, he is a thrilling player to watch. And I think that really there's so much more offensively that he could unlock still, which is the scary part with his size. It's been fun. It's been fun to see. Yeah, Mobley and Cunningham in that same draft class. It's really something to see there. Let's go to 13. Jalen. God damn, what happened here? What did the universe do to me today? I gotta say nice things about Jalen Brunson now. This is crazy. Jalen Brunson 13. Very, very worthy of being up here. The trajectory of Jalen Brunson's career is one of the most incredible stories in the NBA. To go from where he was at as, it was a nice player alongside Luka. They didn't want to pay him the big money. He goes to New York and people are like, okay, like thinking that he could have a nice role. They think that team looked really well rounded. And then all of a sudden Jalen Brunson is just a super duper star of this team and is James Harden, but doing James Harden all over again for the Knicks. Like he is a one-man offensive engine. He is one of the depending on how you feel about it, but one of the best guards at getting to the free throw line, getting to the bucket, finishing in traffic, finishing at the rim, and one of just the most elite heat check guys in the NBA, where if he's going on, like if you see a tweet like Jalen Brunson has 10 in the first 5 minutes, go turn on MSG and watch Jalen Brunson, because it is some of the most exciting basketball to see him going off and hitting the shots that he can hit, especially with that New York crowd behind him. It's amazing. I never thought you would have told me 2 years ago we'd be talking about Jalen Brunson, a top 15 player in the NBA. I would have thought you were crazy, and it's just he has really elevated himself. He puts the work in. They've built the whole franchise around him now. He's going to get his jersey retired in New York of one day. Like it is a full-on love fest between the New York Knicks fans and Jalen Brunson, and he's well-deserved for it because he is the main reason that they're a title contender going into this season. And yeah, he's just a one-man wrecking crew.
Yeah, it's Brunson, I could say all the negative things I've felt about him in games with Celtics Knicks series that have happened in the past couple of years, but to use a broadcaster or an announcer's term, like Jalen Brunson is just truly unflappable. Like he's just one of those guys, and the reason it looks so good and cool when he's playing basketball is just because he's never worried. He's always calm. He wants to be the guy to hit the big shot. So yeah, Brunson at 13 just makes sense here. We move to number 12. It is no one other than LeBron James. And I think people might be mad that we don't have the king, even though it's, he's 40 now. People might be mad we don't have him in the top 10. But we got him at number 12 here. I mean, just between the sciatica alone and this being Luka's team now, I think this is fair. But I said the same thing with Embiid when I had him at 24. This is unfortunately a big question mark season for LeBron James. The first time ever he will not be participating in the season opener. Probably will miss more time than that. I mean, we know he's going to miss more time than that with the sciatica. So tricky situation, but he's LeBron James, right? So he kind of earned this spot with the name, and we also do expect if he does take the court this year to be impactful, because that's what he was last year. So probably the best number 2 you're going to get in the league, but that's what LeBron James is, and he's number 12 for us on the Happy Hour Hoops Top 100.
At number 11, and I don't want any allegations out of me. I did not rig this order. I think I've gotten every single Maverick on this top 100 list. It's not my fault. But we got Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis, man, part of maybe the most shocking trade in NBA history. Part of me not wanting to watch the Mavericks for the rest of last year, but we're back this year. This is a new team, and this is a team that I think is going to be a lot around Anthony Davis, especially in the early part of the season with no Kyrie there. But if you talk about AD, man, what's the only thing that holds him back? It's just health. When he is healthy and when he is playing, there are not many bigs better. I mean, this is a guy who will just make a 40-point, 15-rebound game just look just simple, just look routine. He's so good defensively. He's also so good offensively. And he's just one of those guys that is just, you have to game plan for him. He's an absolute weapon, and he's a guy that has to get doubled when he's on the court. He's a guy that when other teams are playing, that's their focal point. Even when he was on the Lakers with LeBron James, when AD was going, The focus was on him. And this is a guy that just demands that. He's so dominant. He's been dominant his entire career. And the biggest thing holding him back is just the health. He's on, in my opinion, probably the best team he's been on in his career in terms of just talent around him when they're a full go. But even without Kyrie, there's a lot of good players around him, and he gets to be the mentor for Cooper Flagg. You think AD's not going to show up for that? So I love Anthony Davis in this spot. I cannot wait to see the Mavs line up with Cooper Flagg, Anthony Davis, and Derek Lively going. Good luck even looking at the basket in the paint there. It's going to be easy mode for AD with those two are just outside the top 10. But like I said, if we had like the past 2-3 seasons and AD played in a few more games, I think it would be a no-brainer. He's a top 10 talent in the NBA.
Yeah. AD is special. If AD, I think it's been since 22 or 21, he's played more than 55 games or 60 games in a year. If he could pull that off in these last couple of years here or next couple of years, this team is going to be terrifying. And when he's on the floor, any team he's on is terrifying. Speaking of a guy that's terrifying, Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant, the best scoring forward, arguably of all time, now the highest paid player in NBA history. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Just a guy who you put on the floor and you expect him to be able to go get 35 points pretty effortlessly. He is the smoothest jump shot. He can get to any position on the floor that he wants to. Just when he's on the floor, if he's playing games with you, you're going to have an elite offense in the NBA. It doesn't matter where he's been in his career, and he's been a lot of places so far. But this feels like this situation with the Rockets, with everything we talked about earlier, with the Giant starters and the defensive lineup they put around him, for where he's at and at his age to still be able to do what he's going to be able to do and not have the responsibility that he had in Phoenix, where he was like carrying Phoenix last year. And there were some games that it was just, him really imposing his will on other teams. It's the fact that Kevin Durant and LeBron are still 12 and 10 on this list at their age is absurd, but Durant just can still get to a level of scoring where he could be in the top 5 on this list if at the end of we could look silly for having him this low because he's in such a great situation and still such an elite scorer. So I'm not angry about this one. I love Kevin Durant and happily have him in our top 10 here.
I got both you guys here, Jake.
I just missed everything though today. Yeah, whatever.
So I had Evan Mobley at 15. Now I have Donovan Mitchell at number 9 for the Happy Hour Hoops Top 100. Not only does he have a great name, but he's a great basketball player, guys. Look, we talked about the sacrifices that the entire Cavs team had to make last year in order for that to work. None other than Donovan Mitchell is who that started with, because just how solid of a season he was having, how efficient of a season he was having. If he was playing at the volume he normally does or shooting at the volume he normally does, he probably would have been even higher in the MVP discussion last year. And I think he probably ended like 4 or 5 in that discussion. Mitchell, he got it done in Utah when he was there. He's been getting it done in Cleveland. He's a guy who I don't think anyone really thought was going to get to this pedigree coming into the league, but just one of the more athletic combo guards that the NBA has to offer. Can score at all 3 levels. He can still jump out of the gym. Donovan Mitchell at number 9, pretty comfortably for all of us.
At number 8, we got good old Anthony Edwards, Mr. Ant-Man himself. Anthony Edwards, as you guys know, my feelings on Anthony Edwards sometimes I may not be the biggest fan of the world, but Anthony Edwards is electric, man. He's a highlight reel anytime he touches the basketball. This is a guy who's getting comparisons to Jordan just on the way he plays, his intensity, all types of that. And he's a guy who rises in those types of moments. Anthony Edwards, he's been carrying this Minnesota team. He's a guy who we think could probably lead the league in scoring in one of these years upcoming. And he's also a guy who will poster anyone in the NBA. He won't back down from anything. He's got a great outside shot. He's one of the best drivers in the NBA. He's one of the best drivers in the NBA since he entered the league, and kind of has developed his playmaking a little bit and his defense a little bit in his past couple of years. I think he'll take another step up this year. Anthony Edwards, my biggest complaint about him is I think everyone argues that he should be in the discussion of those kind of tier one guys, top 3, top 4, top 5 players in the league. And I think he's just below that right now. But if we're talking about anyone who has a chance to get up there, it is Mr. Ant-Man himself. Everyone loves Anthony Edwards. Give him a couple 35, 40-point scoring games in a row, and all the talking heads on ESPN will say how he's the best player in the NBA. So I don't need to say that as well. Anthony Edwards, though, clearly top 10 player in the NBA.
Yeah, well said. And definitely, we could be look silly if if he kind of bounces back. Edwards, the sky is the limit. Steph Curry, number 7. This and another one. I feel like I'm getting all the old guys who I'm just still amazed are doing what they're doing, but it really is Curry. I never thought that it was going to be like an arduous aging process for him in the NBA. He was always going to be able to shoot. His conditioning and his cardio is, he's second to none in honestly probably NBA history. The way he can run around and get open on screens, the way they use him off the ball and everything. But he is just still the absolute, without Clay, with all the different changes, bringing in Jimmy Butler, like trying to get all these things in. The consummate leader in the NBA right now is probably Steph Curry, for the way his teammates talk about him and the way that he's revered around the league. But the boy can still fill it up, man. He is just an incredible offensive talent, really any which way. The 3-point shooting is obviously some of the best in NBA history, but he can also get to the rim, finish there as a small player. There's not really anything Curry can't do offensively and still can't do offensively. And the only reason we're even, I don't know if we are, but anybody is considering the Warriors to be able to do anything this year is because they still got Steph Curry on that team. So I thought about putting him higher than this, honestly. And I just think the world of him. I have the utmost respect for him, obviously dealing with him in many NBA finals as a Cavs fan. And I'm still but I respect it, and I'm still happy to see Steph doing what he's doing at his age.
Also, pretty good golfer too. I don't know if you guys seen that. Pretty good golfer too. He was carrying Bryson DeChambeau in his breaking 50 video. But if you're doing that, you're a pretty good athlete across the board. But Steph Curry, it's crazy that he's still considered this high, right, at his age. Like you think, like, especially his type of build, right, the smaller guard and everything. You just think those guys kind of fall off.
Injury problems early in his career too.
You just think those guys fall off a lot quicker, and it just every year we're just like, oh no, Steph's just Steph, man.
Some guys just have it all. Steph Curry falls into that category for sure.
Speaking of injury, Dunny.
That was way meaner than anything I said about J-Dub. Number 6, Jason Tatum. Thank you for that. Nice segue, Steve. Look, I want it on the record that it is nice. I did have to talk about Joel Embiid. I did have to talk about Evan Mobley being a spot higher than Jaylen Brown, and I did have to talk about Donovan Mitchell. But now I get to talk about Jason Tatum. Disclaimer, when we first started creating this list, we're keeping Jason Tatum off it because, it's just pure speculation. We thought he was going to be out for a year. That's kind of what everyone thought at the time. In the recent weeks, Tatum himself said that he plans to play this year, so we didn't think we could leave him off it. And, this was also Jake and Steve's decision to have him this high. I think we all can consider Jason Tatum easily a top 10 player, closer to top 5 when healthy. We expect to see him at some point this season, so he's probably the weirdest guy on this list, but of a healthy Jason Tatum is number 6. I could go on all day, but NBA champion, Olympic gold medalist, most points ever in a Game 7. Tatum's had a crazy accomplished career, and he's only 27 years old. And we hope it's the same Tatum when he comes back from injury. And if that is the case, this number 6 is super deserving. So that's where we have him, considering that he probably will play this year.
Yeah, I mean, we all know how good Tatum can be, and obviously the league's better if he's fully healthy. We don't, it's a weird spot to try to rank him right now because there's just a ton of question marks, and who knows when he comes back. But you're right, Dunny. Like if he's good to go, you can't deny his talent. You can't deny his ability. Another guy's talent, but I don't think anyone has ever denied, is number 5, Mr. Victor Wembanyama. Talk about living up to the hype, the pressure that this guy had coming in, right? You're an international basketball phenom. Everyone wants to talk about you. Everyone wants to talk about you. And what's the first thing everyone jumps to when someone gets hyped up like that? They don't watch, because don't try to tell me you were watching Wemby's international games. You just weren't. Everyone's like, oh, he's not going to be worth the hype. This guy's not going to be as good as everyone says. And then we watched him play basketball in the NBA. And apparently he grew 2 inches this year too. So now we got a 7'5" Wemby at age 21 years old, who can, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, he can handle the ball like a guard. He can shoot the 3-pointer like a 3-point specialist. He can drive like he's a prime LeBron James. It takes him about 4 steps to get from one end of the court to the other. He might be the best defender in the NBA already. And oh, by the way, he's 7'5". And this is a guy can do everything. He's at number 5 right now, and the only reason he's this low, and the reason I say he's this low, is the 4 above him have kind of proven themselves already as their own type of superstars. But if we're talking about someone who has a chance to become the best player in the NBA, you're staring right at him. It's number 5, Victor Wembanyama. He's got a pretty good team around him. I'm excited to see what this Spurs team can do. But Wemby can do it all, man. He will block you on one end of the court, and then he will just dribble it up the other way. And within 3 seconds, he's getting an and one on the other side of the court. It's incredible what he could do. He might be the only, not only, that's disrespectful, one of the only 7-footers or taller in NBA history where his jump shot just looks good. You know what I mean? Even if guys are good at shooting who are that tall, it just doesn't look right. Looks a little clunky. Dude, he's just got a smooth, nice jump shot. Nobody's blocking his shots, and guess what? He's blocking all of your shots. I mean, this is a guy that potentially can have a quintuple double. There is a situation where we could see Wemby at some point in his career. I'm not saying it's this year. I'm not saying it's going to happen a lot. But at some point in his career, with his skills, with his length, with his ability, with everything, it would take maybe 5-6 deflected passes in the first quarter, and then you're like, oh, here we go. Where we could see points, rebounds, assists, blocks, and steals. He's going to lead stocks in the NBA for, the next 10 years? Everything this guy does is just unbelievable. Wemby has to be 5, and I feel like we're low here with Wemby at 5, but you have to put him at 5 at this point. I think Wemby is right where there's that kind of clear cutoff where I think you have, in my opinion, the 4 best players in the NBA. Then Wemby's in his own tier because he's just an alien, and he could very well be up there. And then you got all the other superstars. But Wemby, man, I'm so excited to watch him this year. He's only going to get better. He's 5 years before his potential prime.
Yep.
He's 21.
They're gonna be a scary team going forward. Enjoy it while you can if you can get wins off Spurs. A very sorry to do this, Steve, but I'm gonna take your boy, Luka Doncic here.
Sorry.
I got Luka Doncic here, and I'm very happy to be talking about Luka Doncic. See, this is all I had to deal with all this nonsense during this whole top 25 to get to Luka Doncic. Also, one of my favorite players in the NBA, and now plays with my favorite player of all time on the Lakers. First full year with the Lakers. First full year as the number 1 with the Lakers. I know that he was. They really did start handing the keys to him right away last year, but now full summer. We've seen the PR push, the magazine covers, the Hot Ones interviews, everything. Luka's all over the place. Skinny Luka's all over the place. And I've talked a lot. I've gotten a lot of I got, the Hardens and the Jalen Brunsons, the guys, the one-man offensive engines. Nobody does it better. Nobody does it better than Luka Doncic. Like, to what he was able to do in Dallas and what we imagine he'll be able to do in Los Angeles is just completely, like, when Luka's on your team, you're probably going to make the playoffs and you're probably going to make a deep run, because honestly, Luka is just a triple double machine on the top of it, but he's one of the best players in the league at making the players around him better. Like, everybody feeds off his infectious energy. They start making shots. This team is not perfectly built for Luka, but he has some, I'm excited to see him and Reeves play off each other. Maybe Luka can revive some DeAndre Ayton action in there. It's such a blast to watch Luka Doncic play basketball, and he does it and the most amazing thing is he does it at his own pace. Like, Luka might just be lumbering down. It might be the slowest drive to the basket, the most meandering drive to the basket, but he's going to get where he wants to go and get his shot, and it's probably going in. And also the reason Luka is up here and the reason Luka is successful, he's one of the fiercest competitors in all the sport right now. Like, that is a guy who hates to lose. Honestly, if we would have put him at number 1, I wouldn't have been mad about it. We can't put him at 1. We're going to put him at 4 here, but very well could be the best player and win MVP this year. Would not be surprised.
I got no complaints on that. None whatsoever.
It's not just me, though, that wanted LeBron higher. I'm just saying. Now, it is my brother.
He's not right now. Not right now.
Argue with him.
Not right now.
I'm not doing that.
No, there's no chance.
He wants him. He definitely wants him at 6 ahead of Jason Tatum. I can guarantee you.
Well, yeah, I'm sure there's many.
Well, maybe right now. Maybe Tatum now.
Yeah, Tatum.
Yeah, sure.
LeBron
could be above Tatum in the month of October.
Current day, I'll put LeBron.
I don't know though. LeBron's back. If that sciatic is acting up today,
that's true.
Might be able to get.
He'll be dancing on someone's stream tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, oh hell yeah, it's opening night. Number 3, Giannis Antetokounmpo, guys. Talk about a guy who I think people might just be, I don't know if they're bored or if they've just seen the same thing from this guy too many times or what, but I'm here to remind you that Giannis comfortably is still a top 3 player in this league. I think I wouldn't think anyone's crazy. I would argue the other way, but if people had Giannis at 1, I don't think anyone could really blame them. We're talking about a guy who, if you compare him to Luka and some of the other guys in this list, like the talent on those other guys' teams compared to what Giannis was dealing with last year, and then also this year, like it's not even comparable. And Giannis averaged 30, 12, and nearly 7 assists last year on 60% shooting. Like, this is just what Giannis does. He plays both ends. His jump shot's really been his only limitation throughout his entire career. And it just doesn't matter with this guy. Giannis is Giannis. He's going to be like this until we see the athleticism take a step down. But it just hasn't yet. And he's only going to have more opportunity this year to carry this Buck squad. So Giannis, number 3, pretty easily for us.
Here we go. Number 2, everyone knows who the top 2 is. I feel like it's top 2 on every list. And number 2, we are going with the MVP and the defending champion, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And I'm sure there's going to be some Thunder fans upset or whatnot, but let's be honest here. Shai is one of the best players in the league. Shai is one of the most efficient players in the league. Shai is averaging 31, 6, and 5 over the past 3 seasons. Shai just led one of the best regular season teams we've ever seen last year with the Thunder, and then one of the best playoff runs we've ever seen with the Thunder. Just absolute dominance. Shai is Probably the most complete guard in the NBA, and it pains me to say that because you know how much I love Luka Doncic, but it's true. I mean, this is a guy who can create his own shot. This is a guy whose playmaking is at an elite level now. This is someone who, call him a free throw merchant all you want. He drives to the lane. He draws the contact. And everybody, all the stars in the NBA flop, so I don't want to hear that excuse anymore. And guess what? When he goes to the free throw line, he hits them at the 90% clip. So this is a guy who is just sometimes a little boring because he just makes it look so easy. He's the king of the mid-range. Shea also too on the other end, absolute dog on defense. He's playing the full 48 minutes. He's playing the full 90 feet. Like, this is a guy who doesn't back down from anything. This is a guy who is just the complete basketball player. And he's a guy who just stays to himself, just cares about basketball. That's all it is. He's just Shea. He just shows up, does his job, and on to the next night. He has been Mr. Efficiency pretty much his entire career, but really the past couple of years, scoring champion. There's nothing you can say bad about Shea at this point. If you don't have him in, really, I think at the top 3, I'll argue top 4 because I love all of these 4 guys. If you don't have him in the top 4, you're crazy. MVP, man. And favorite to win it again this year. Plus 150. Plus 150. Insane.
Before the season is even tipped off.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, we know who number 1 is then. And I think we all were perfectly happy having him at number 1. He's been the best. He's been the defining player of the 2020s and continues to be. Nikola Jokic. Just the most complete basketball player in the world today. The size that he has and the ability he has offensively is just I've never seen it. I don't know about you guys, but to be a 7-footer, to be the engine that he can be, the post passing he has, just the passing, the creativity that he has, the shot making. You know, how many of those super arced threes have we seen him make that just look like they have no business even getting close to the rim and they just splash in there? Like, he is just, and he even talked about it a little bit. He is a freak athlete, and he wants to start doing freak athlete things. That scares me. I don't know what that even means. Like, Jokic has already been doing freak athlete things since he came into the league. And if he's starting to think that he can do more, like, who knows what the evolution of Jokic looks like further in the next couple of years. But man, this guy is just damn near unstoppable. Like, I don't know what you do to try to defend him. You just hope and pray that you shut down the other guys and that he doesn't put up 60, 20, and 10 on you and go from there. What do you guys have to say about Jokic, though? I don't want to talk only about him because
he's the best player in the NBA. I don't really think that's that debatable. I know Shea won MVP last year, but you could make a case that Jokic should have won the last 5 MVPs. That's how good Nikola Jokic is, right? You could make a case that he could, like, realistically could have won 5 straight MVPs. He's just unbelievable, man, and he just makes it look so easy. It's effortless for him. And my favorite thing about Jokic is he will have a game where he only shoots like 8 times. And you're like, well, why? What's he doing? Like, his box score will be 14 points, 22 rebounds, 18 assists. You're like, what? Like, the center's doing that? And then the next game, Jokic will have 20 points in the first quarter and finish with 46 points, 20 rebounds. I mean, he is the definition of basically, I can get whatever I want whenever I want it. And he's the ultimate team player. We talked, when you talked about Luka, right, and we talked about Shea, we talked about making guys around them better. There's no one in the NBA right now who makes guys around them better than Nikola Jokic. Look at the players on the Nuggets. Look at when guys have their career years. And I know we've talked about this the past 3 weeks, and I'll continue to talk about this. This might be his best team around him in his career. And that is terrifying.
That's the only point I was going to add to that, Steve, because you brought it up with Trey. And, we talked about how Trey's had an awesome career thus far, and this is probably going to be his best opportunity just because he has the best squad around him. I think that same thing goes for Jokic. The Nuggets just signed Christian Brown to a rookie extension. They brought in Cam Johnson. They still have Aaron Gordon. They brought back Bruce Brown. Like, this team is just solid. and they're poised to make another run. It was something that the Nuggets kind of slacked on the last couple of years, is not putting a good enough roster around Jokic, and they still stayed afloat, and he still almost won the MVP the last 5 years, like we talked about. So, I mean, Jokic, no brainer at number one, and I mean, if he has more shit that he's going to try out on the court, I think the whole league should be a little scared.
A little scared, yeah.
Yeah.
He's feeling good about this team too, even though he said he doesn't have any friends left on the team, but I'm sure he'll make new friends, and I think that him saying that is just the confidence that they have in this unit after a couple years of it looking lean there. It's gonna be fun to see the Nuggets play this year.
I feel like he's got friends in that team. I see the way he's talking with Aaron Gordon all the time in the games and everything, buddy.
You know, the one friend he said he wasn't gonna miss was MPJ. He mentioned all the people that left except Michael Porter Jr.
I love that though. He's gonna love Cam Johnson too. He's gonna love him.
So that was our top 100, guys. That was the Happy Hour Hoops top 100. We made it. A night before the NBA tips off, we gave you guys the last of our top 100. That was the top 25. The top 3 being Giannis, Shea, and Jokic. And
that's crazy. We're gonna go top 3. That's so top 4 at least. All right, maybe top 5. Right? Yeah. How about
we might talk about number 5 in a little bit here. So.
The one thing I did want to say, I know we mentioned it a couple times, but a couple players were excluded because they're not supposed to play basketball this year, out for the year. So that's why Halliburton isn't on the list. Damian Lillard. Halliburton would be very high on the list. I would say top 25 pretty easily, in my opinion.
He
so
would have been talked about today for sure.
Just a couple guys that we didn't mention that would include in the list. But you gotta make exceptions to the rule, and Jason Tatum dunked, so we gotta throw him on the list.
You'll see. You guys will see when Tatum comes back on Valentine's Day. It shocks the world. But with that was our top 100, like I mentioned. Let's get right into our predictions. So before we go tonight, we're going to give you guys our 2025-26 MVPs, our conference finals picks, and our NBA finals picks. And this is not going to be like our top 100. We each have different picks here, or at least we think we have different picks. We don't know. We have surprises for each other here. So should we start with the MVPs, guys?
Yeah, let's get the MVP. We just talked top 25 players in the league, so I hope we have one of them as our MVP.
That'd be crazy if we had one that was off the list, but I'll go first since I'm already talking here. I have none other than Victor Wembanyama as my 2025-2026 MVP, plus 1,200 on DraftKings. Look, obviously not the favorite. A little bit of juice here. That's kind of why I liked it also. But, I mean, Steve talked about it, right? Like, the sky's the fucking limit for this guy. He's apparently grown. If you caught any glimpse of the Spurs in preseason, you would see that he is a different player this year. He's going to be a different player this year. He trained with Monks this summer. He also trained with Kevin Garnett. He trained with Hakeem. Like, I saw someone say that Hakeem turned Victor Wembanyama from the dream to the nightmare, because
it's terrifying.
Like, and I believe that, man. Like, this guy is 7'5". I mean, Steve lived it all out. If you listen to our top 100 a few minutes ago, he was number 5 for us, and there's a reason for that, man. Like, we talked about it in our contenders playoff should tank and mid show. I really wanted to throw the Spurs into that contender conversation, and obviously that starts with Wemby. So Wemby is my prediction for the 2025-26 MVP.
I almost was going to say, do you have a long shot? But at this point, 12-1 feels like a little bit of kind of a long shot, because I kind of like those odds there. I think when you're talking about value, Dunny, I think that's one of the best values you'll see. And I'll be honest with you, Dunny, I thought you were going to pick one of the top 4 guys on the list. So going with number 5, I'll give you. You know what? I'll call that even a long shot too, because I had a favorite, I guess, and then just a couple sprinkles. You gotta have a couple sprinkles here and there. But any sprinkle, or is it just all in Wemby for you?
I think I'm putting some sprinkles on the same cupcake that you got, bro.
Okay.
So I'll wait for you to get to yours.
Okay.
Jake, you want to go? Since we
I'll
just teased Steve, so we'll make Steve wait a little
Yeah,
bit.
I'll go, and I'm gonna pick the boring. I'm gonna pick a boring option here. I guess not a boring option. It's Nikola Jokic is gonna be the MVP this year. They got a team around him. They just said that it's a much better team, a much better supporting cast than he's had in years past, and the guy has had the case to be the MVP for the last 5 years if he wanted to. So I think voters get back around to him, even if he's not the favorite going into the year. Until further notice, I think I'm just going to pick Nikola Jokic to win MVP and call it a day. Now, if I had to sprinkle, you want me to talk about some sprinkles? Just a couple sprinkles. I have to do it. I have to say Donovan Mitchell, because if the Cavs win 65 games again this year and he's averaging 26, 27, 28 points, and they're the top team in the East again, and maybe the Nuggets and Thunder kind of take some games off each, and the Rockets take some games off each other in a tougher Western Conference, I could see it. He's starting to get the notoriety as a true top 10 player. Some Cavs fans are just saying Evan Mobley is the better MVP candidate this year. Now, hey, if that happens, then we really got to start talking different about the Cavs if Evan Mobley's the MVP candidate. But I wouldn't hate a sprinkle on Mitchell, and I also wouldn't hate a sprinkle on Brunson for the same exact reasons.
Fair enough. All right.
I like that.
I am with Jake here. I have Nikola Jokic as my MVP pick. When we talked about it, like I said, he could have won the MVP the past 5 seasons, and we think this is the best probably team he's had around him in his career. They also have a decent another center to go with him with Valanciunas, which is just going to help Jokic. He can do whatever he wants. Maybe even the Nuggets get crazy and say, let's go point guard Jokic a little bit here and have Valanciunas plays the 5. Let's go real big with it. But the fact of the matter is, I just think the supporting cast around him is so good. And this is a guy that's just going to have probably the most boring 30 points, 15 rebound and 10 assist games just night after night after night. Nobody fills up a box score quite like Jokic. And I also think the Denver Nuggets are one of the best teams in the NBA this year. And we've seen time and time again with the NBA MVP, winning matters. Your team has to be competitive. Your team has to be good. And if I'm going to be honest with you guys, if there's a team that can, compete with the Oklahoma City Thunder for the 1 seed in the West or the best record in the NBA, it is the Denver Nuggets. So I think Nikola Jokic, it's boring. It's at 3-1 right now. That's my official pick. And that's kind of the reason I'm not taking Luka, just because I don't really know what the Lakers team is going to be like. I think at some point the NBA is going to be like, we owe this man an MVP. But I don't know if the Lakers are just going to be as good enough of a team to get that. So there's my pick. My long shot, my little sprinkles. I got 2 of them. 200-1 are the odds on both of these guys. 200-1. Now, you can find books where I think one of the guys 250-1 you can get up to. You can get up to 300-1 for one of the guys. I will start with a little bit bias here. I think Anthony Davis has a very good chance to be in the MVP discussion. When we're talking about pure talent and dominance when healthy, you can't argue Anthony Davis is one of the top players in basketball. He's got a great supporting cast around him, and he has a chance with no Kyrie at the start to put up those types of just absurd numbers, right? You got no Kyrie, and you got a rookie in Cooper Flag that you're going to probably want to ease in a little bit. Yeah, he'll play a lot, but his usage and everything. So what does that mean? The team is going to go through Anthony Davis, and there's such a good supporting cast right now around him. I think this is a guy that we could see in the months of like November and December, averaging like 32 points and 14 rebounds, like something outrageous. 200-1, 250-1 on some books. You got to just a little sprinkle on it. Because also too, if the Mavs, like I said, are a competitive team and then they get Kyrie back, and we talked about it, if Kyrie's healthy, this is a team that has potential to win the West. It's just the biggest question with Anthony Davis is health. He'll be the reason if the Mavs are competitive when they get Kyrie back and they have a chance to be one of the best teams in the West. He will be the reason. So you have to do a little sprinkle there. And then my final little sprinkle, 200-1. You can find it at 300-1. The East is wide open this year. All right. The East is wide open this year. And I thought about it. And I thought about it for the past couple weeks. And I'm just like, I know I'm hearing Cavs. I'm hearing Knicks. I'm hearing Cavs. I'm hearing Knicks. Blah, 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 blah. The East is wide open. They may be very good, but there's a lot of other teams in the East. The Boston Celtics, Dunny, have a chance to still be a very competitive team with or without Jason Tatum. And if we're talking about what would be perfect for all the talking heads, what would be perfect for the media, what would be perfect to just be like, wait, the whole anti-Tatum crew versus the pro-Celtics crew, Jaylen Brown being the number one option. Now the Celtics, I don't know how good of a team they will be at the start. I still have a lot of questions about their forwards, about their bigs. But if we're talking about a guy who can have his numbers just absolutely jump and absolutely skyrocket and prove that he can be the number one, this is the year for Jaylen Brown. You talk about the type of guy you want to have that type of mindset that doesn't want to back down, that wants to be the guy. That is Jaylen Brown. And if there is a scenario where the Boston Celtics without Jason Tatum are right there at the top of the East with the Cavs and the Knicks, you have to credit somebody. You have to put someone in those discussions. They won't put Pritchard. They won't put White. They're going to put the guy who's going to have the numbers. And I will tell you right now, if the Boston Celtics are up there with the Knicks and with the Cavs, with the Bucks, whoever it is, at the top of the East before Tatum comes back, if Tatum even does come back, Jaylen Brown's going to be averaging close to 30 a game, maybe north of 30 a game. Like, Jaylen Brown is going to be that guy who's going to improve on his playmaking. He's going to be that guy who might flirt with a couple triple-doubles here and there. He's going to be that guy where you're going to look at his numbers and be like, oh, my God, how did they jump like this? That is a big if, right? There's these two teams here. Like I said, you have
big
to be
if.
You
big,
have to. No, don't go ginormous if. No, because this is the same. This is the same.
Reach of a century.
Listen to me. This is 200 to 1 odds. This is the same thing with Anthony Davis, 200 to 1 odds. When I look at those odds, I go, what can get these odds closer? You know, right? What is going to build it up? Right now, the Mavs and Celtics, in guys' eyes, are like, all right, these teams are maybe middling. No, it's not. They're middling.
Crazy.
They're middling in their conferences. Well, I got a superstar. No. First off, his sprinkle was Donovan Mitchell. His sprinkle was Donovan Mitchell, and he's going to call me out. First off, I'm just saying.
I pick my team. I don't pick your team.
I'm just saying.
And I said Jalen Brunson too, who I just said I hated.
But that's the thing. The Knicks and the Cavs are expected. The Knicks and the Cavs are expected to be the top two teams. The Knicks and the Cavs are expected to be the top two teams.
There's a reason the Celtics aren't expected to be a top team without Jason Tatum. They're missing their best player.
Exactly. That's why if they get up there and they're competing with these two teams, there's going to have to be a reason and there's going to have to be a player. Why? That's why I said it's a sprinkle. I'm not saying go put your bank account on Anthony Davis and Jaylen Brown. I'm saying if you're looking for value, if you're looking for opportunity, first off, Jake, you and I both know Jokic is just going to win the MVP. This is just to have a little fun as the season goes on. See how your odds move. See how the payout changes. Jaylen Brown has a golden opportunity for that. Am I wrong? That's not wrong.
You could say that about any player in the NBA.
You cannot say that about any player. You cannot say that about any player. Don't give me that. Don't even say that about any player.
Crazy. If I said Donovan Mitchell, the clear best player on a team who won 65 games, you picked the second best player on a team. I didn't pick Mobley. That's a much different opposition than what I was.
JB's going to be the best player.
Mobley's got better odds than Mitchell. Does he not?
Not on the list I'm looking at.
No.
I see Mitchell ahead of Mobley.
Yeah, Mobley's plus 2,500.
Jaylen Brown winning MVP. That's absurd.
Did I say what's going to happen? I didn't say it was going to happen.
No, this is a cop out. This is a cop out. You can't go on your rant about it and then be like, I didn't say it was going to happen. I didn't say it was going to happen. You could have picked 200 other players in the league.
Please go back. No, you can't. No, you
can't. A few other things. Obviously.
No. I expect a formal apology if at any point in this season he's in discussion.
Oh, I think
I denied.
Denied. You're crazy. You're yelling at me, and then you're like, "Oh, well, he might be in the discussion. I won't apologize to anybody. He could be in the discussion, but I'll deny that at 300 to 1 odds. Ridiculous.
This won't be sprinkled, but I do think I could say this. I think I could say for almost certain that he will be in the discussion at some point this season, because I think you're right, Zio. I think in order for them to compete, which, It's so hard to say where they're going to fall seeding wise, but I told you guys leading up the last couple of weeks, I'm getting a little delusional. The big man rotation still scares me a lot. But here's the facts. Jaylen Brown is one of the best two-way players in the game, so I think that helps his case. He also said this year his main goal other than winning the championship is to make an all-defensive team, which the defensive numbers in that case you would assume go up. Steve, I'm with you. I think a Tatum-less Celtics team with Jaylen Brown and the
you're with Steve. Oh, this big surprise.
I'm just making the points of why it could happen. He could easily be hovering around 30 points per game.
Easily hovering around 30 points.
Yeah,
sure.
He could be.
No, not easily. Not easily.
What do you mean?
Crazy.
If the Celtics are right up there, if the Celtics are right up at the top of the East with the Cavs, I'm not even.
Again, that's a big if without Jason Tatum, one of the best. We just ranked him number 6.
That's why I'm saying. That's why I'm saying if beforehand. That's why I'm saying
was the key word in Dunny's take.
If what would be the reason behind it? If it would be Jaylen Brown. Would it not?
My only other point is he has out there. He's won the Finals MVP before. I know it's completely different. I'm just saying.
Oh, don't even go there. Don't even. This is the most ridiculous segment we've ever had on this show.
These are just sprinkles.
You could have sprinkled on anybody else. Anybody else. Had to be Jaylen Brown.
Well.
Had to be Jaylen Brown. He averaged 22 points. He's going to jump 8 points a game just because Tatum's out.
He could.
Absurd. He could. I could be in the NBA next year, too.
No. We're not. Not even
8 points a game is an insane league.
No, move on. That is the wildest thing I've ever heard.
8 points a game is an insane lead. He's not averaging 30 points a game.
It could be 6, and he's still in the conversation. Like, you could win the MVP averaging 28 a game.
Yeah.
Just saying.
This is not a good sprinkle. This is a dumb sprinkle.
What would your sprinkle be then?
I said Brunson and Mitchell are 2 teams who are definitely going to win 55-plus games with the best players on their team.
You think Brunson's going to win MVP? You genuinely?
Brunson has a much better chance to win MVP than Jaylen Brown this year.
Yeah, obviously. Look at the odds. You're just throwing your money away at those odds.
No, just like you are. What are you talking about? That's all I'm saying.
I'm saying this is a chance where it could go up as the year goes on. Do you think Brunson's odds will ever get better than where they are now?
What is he at right now?
He's at 50 to 1 on some books, 60 to 1. I think he could find him.
You don't think Brunson could get better than 50 to 1 odds to be MVP? If the Knicks are like 30-3 to start the year and Brunson is doing what he does, he's not going to be a top 3 MVP favorite.
Well, what is he going to be doing? What he does? They got a really good team there too. Like that's what I'm saying. It's just like.
So, but if the team's not good, if the Celtics are mid, no, because I just caught you because the Celtics are mid pack in the East and Brown's putting up those stats, he's not MVP.
Correct.
Okay, so my thing was if the Knicks are that good and Brunson is putting up the stats.
But what I'm saying though is the Knicks are already expected to be that good. Right, they're already expected to be a top 2 team in the East. They're expected to be obviously 30-3, be a ridiculous start, but they're already expected there. Right now, the Celtics' expectations are as low as they've ever been.
apparently, except you two, who think that they could be top teams in the East.
That's
I mean, what did
no,
you
I'm not.
If you came to
I'm
Happy
saying,
Hour Hoops, getting
yeah.
something different from me.
First off, you're almost making Stevie Boston want to come out for our conference. You're almost making Stevie Boston want to come out for the conference finals.
Hey, Steve,
You're
you
already
want this
here. The fact that you brought up Jaylen Brown and Stevie, y'all had a text
No, it's
game before,
not.
like, watch how
It's
I'm
not.
going to pick Jaylen Brown to win MVP this
All right, I'm changing my
Great.
sprinkle
It was a
pick.
sprinkle.
Crazy. And it's an insane sprinkle, in my opinion.
I'm changing my sprinkle pick. Derek White plus 50,000.
That's where Dunny's lost me. That's where Dunny's lost me.
We got a fantasy.
Can we just be honest with
we got a
ourselves?
fantasy draft in 8 minutes.
We got a fantasy draft in 8 minutes.
Well, can we just be honest with ourselves? Like, realistically, no one outside of like the top 4 or 5 guys has a chance.
No, honestly, I felt shitty after taking Wemby when you guys started talking about Jokic. I'm like, well, my fucking pick isn't hitting. So,
well,
Yeah,
I
think
just, it's
Jokic
just like
or SGA,
you would
honestly.
need. But I don't want to say this. I don't want to step. But you would need an injury to one of those 4 guys.
You
Shea,
think so?
Luka, Jokic, Giannis. If one of those 4 is healthy and their teams are competitive, they're just going to win the award.
Yeah, I mean, it would have to be the quadruple double stuff you're talking
Yeah,
about. With
Wemby could. I think.
I would have
do.
to have like three steals a game, like 3 blocks a game, and then.
But I just like
Jokic is doing.
Let's say like the Lakers aren't that great. Maybe OKC is just kind of coasts a little bit, and then Jokic just did what he did last year. A, that's probably good enough to win MVP. But B, like Giannis is going to go crazy with his numbers this year in Milwaukee. Yeah. I think the NBA MVP, and all the yelling aside, Jake, I think at this point, just any sprinkle outside of like top 4 or 5 guys for the past feels like 10, 15 years is just entertainment at that point. And just seeing how they move as the year goes on.
Yeah, what was the last year? It wasn't like not obvious, but it wasn't one of those guys.
That's what I'm trying to think of.
Oh yeah, I don't even.
Was it Harden year?
I guess people were expecting that.
Yeah.
Though. Maybe the Durant
It's been
year.
a long time. I mean, Rose
even
probably.
then,
Derrick Rose.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but
That's probably the last one where preseason odds were probably actually decent. So that's all I'm saying. It's just like the sprinkles are fun. We all know it's going to be one of these top 4 guys. And I'll put Wemby in 5.
The sprinkles are only to yell at your
sorry.
friends. That's what they're here for.
Yeah, I couldn't let that go unchecked. We're gonna just
it says go unchecked after I basically first 5 minutes talk about how Jokic is going to win MVP. But fine,
right, we have an NBA fantasy draft in 5 minutes.
I got pick 3, boys. I got pick 3. Maybe Jaylen Brown will still be available at pick 3.
Okay, conference finals picks.
I don't think Dunny heard that one.
I did. I'm choosing to ignore everything right now.
All right, let's get our picks in.
Who are your conference finals picks?
I've got the Cavs and the Knicks and the Nuggets and the Thunder. I'm being super boring. I'm picking what I think. I think the Nuggets and Thunder are the 2 best teams in the West. I think the Cavs and the Knicks are 2 best teams in the East. That's what I think. Those teams are levels ahead of everybody else in the conference. So that's what I'm going with.
My issue with that is just that it just feels so obvious in the East, Cav Knicks, that it just won't be. Do you understand what I mean? Like it feels so obvious. There's a lot of exciting teams in the East, man. Like there's a couple teams I really want to put in there. But since I gotta be, biased to Dunny, I might as well be biased to Jake. I have the Cavs over the Atlanta Hawks in the East. I really, really wanted to put the Hawks over the Cavs. Not to mention the Hawks were the team that beat the Cavs when they were on their ridiculous streak to start last year. I think the Cavs got to be due at this point, right, man? Like the team, the roster, the depth, the size, just the coaching, everything. It just, especially the way they lost last year too, where Indiana, barring an injury, maybe even wins the NBA Finals, and we have a completely different conversation about the Pacers run, which I think we talked about, Jake. Where if the Pacers did beat the Thunder, the entire outlook on that whole run, or the Cavs losing the Pacers, would be completely different than it is. But I just feel like it's just too talented of a team, too dominant of a team, and I think their best players just keep getting better, which is a big thing for me. East is wide open this year. I love the Hawks. I think the Hawks are a fun team. I can't do it. There was a point where we were yelling in the MVP conversation where I almost said, you know what, I'm going to scratch that and I'm going to say Atlanta over Boston as a big middle finger to you. But the fact is I have the Cavs over the Hawks. And unfortunately for you, I have the Cavs losing. I have the Denver Nuggets over the Houston Rockets, and I have the Denver Nuggets win the NBA Finals. I really, really like this Denver Nuggets team. Like I said, I think it's the best team around Jokic. And if you're telling me that I got the guy who probably could have won the MVP the past 5 years, best player in the NBA, with the best team around him, I'm going to take it. I think the Rockets are going to be fun. I think KD's kind of the perfect fit. I also don't like taking the same team again, especially with the Thunder. I think that the West is so tough, and the Thunder will absolutely have the target painted on their back with every team they face this year. Everyone just wants to beat the best, right? That's just how it works. But I think there's 5-6 legitimate teams that could come out of the West. I'm going with the Denver Nuggets, and I'm going with the Nuggets over the Cavs in the NBA Finals. I was originally going to say 6. I'm going to say 4 now. I'm going to say Nuggets in 4.
Whoa.
I'll finish mine off before you go, Dunny. I have the Cavs and the Thunder in the finals, and I have the Thunder repeating and winning the NBA Finals. Wow. I just think that team is they're just a perfectly built team. The West is starting to catch up to them. They're going to get a test from the Nuggets in this conference finals, but still too good, still too deep. I think they probably would beat the Cavs in 5 games. The thing remember about the Cavs last year's playoffs, especially Mobley and Garland were hurt a bunch in that Pacers series too. They played, but were hampered. If the Cavs are healthy, that changes everything in the East playoffs. If they're not, who knows? But yeah, Thunder over Cavs.
All right. Pretty humble there, Jake. I thought for sure you're gonna have the Cavs winning this year. For the East, I have Cavs versus Magic in the conference finals.
Wow, you are feeling the Magic, huh?
Yeah, man. Look, the more I'm thinking about this group, the more I like them. I do think Paulo is due for another jump. I think they have. The outside shooting still spotty with this Magic group, but obviously the addition of Bane just helps that so much. I think Franz will find his shot again. He's kind of been streaky to start his NBA career, but I think it improves. And just kind of what you said, Steve. I was thinking earlier, and this, I'm sure people will think this is shade at the Knicks. I really, really like the Knicks roster. I think the Cavs are just that of a better team, and I think the Magic are going to surprise some people. So I thought it'd be fun to throw them in. I like it. West, I have Nuggets versus the Thunder. So boring here. I have the Nuggets winning that though, and I have Cavs, Nuggets in the NBA Finals. Nuggets winning in 7.
Damn! Look at that. We didn't even talk about this before, Donnie. We ain't even talking about we're just aligned this year right now. We're just aligned. It's scary how aligned we are right now. And then we got Mr. Crazy over there just yelling at everything Dunny and I agree on. Because
crazy to pick the Oklahoma City Thunder to win the NBA Finals. That's an insane move.
Jake, voice of reason, Micah.
I'm surprised you didn't pick your Cavs, Jake.
Me too.
I don't think they're going to win the finals. I mean, I don't think they could beat the Nuggets or the Thunder in the finals. So I have no problem with you guys picking the Nuggets over them either. I think that it's just the West top tier is better than the East top tier. I think the West wins the finals, even if it's the Rockets that make it. I think the Rockets would then win the finals. That's how I feel going into this year.
Fair enough. Well, guys, that was we rounded out our top 100 of the Happy Hour Hoops top 100. We hope you guys enjoyed the list. Can't wait to see everyone and tell us how wrong we are as soon as a few games start. Those were our predictions. So, Steve, you have the Nuggets winning. I have the Nuggets winning.
Yeah, Nuggets over Cavs.
The Thunder winning. So maybe the East will upset us all and they'll pull it out. But Nuggets, Thunder for our finals predictions. I have Wemby for my MVP. Jake and Steve both have Jokic. And guys, we have basketball tomorrow. Real
Yes, we
basketball.
do.
No more preseason. Russell Westbrook's on a team. We can all go to bed happy and wake up for some hoops tomorrow night. Yeah, that's going to do it for Happy Hour Hoops presented by Trainwreck Sports. Follow us at Happy Hour Hoops 1 on all socials, and we will see you guys later this week for another episode. Later, guys.